Are you using your teeth as an extra hand? Stop holding nails in your mouth. Stop opening water bottles. All of those things are really detrimental for your teeth. I am Dr. Olga Dolghier here at Palm Valley Pediatric Dentistry and Orthodontics. And let's talk about using your teeth as a tool. How crazy is that? It's very common for people to use their teeth for opening envelopes, for tearing off those plastic tags from your clothes, for opening Amazon envelopes. It's easy, oops, and that's open. And also you can hold a lot of things in your mouth. You can open water bottle, you can hold nails, you can hold other things, so it's kind of useful. It's really easy. For some people it's habitual. They think that's part of their life. That's how it is. It's quick and simple. So what's happening if you're using your teeth as a tool? Your teeth are for eating, your teeth are for speaking, your teeth are for biting, your teeth are for aesthetic, but not as a tool at all. Think about it. When you create lateral pressure on that tooth, you actually wiggle tooth back and forth. What you can do, you can actually loosen up the ligament around the tooth, and tooth can get loose. So it's not uncommon for us to see a teenager who were trying to open a metal cup on a bottle and tilt the tooth such a way that tooth becomes loose. That's a big problem because teeth have ligaments around every single one of them, and as a result it actually can be very damaging for that ligament. Number two, you can crack your tooth. Your tooth is very strong. It's stronger than bones, but it's very fragile. And if you bite just a little wrong way, you're gonna crack it and you can break it halfway, and then we have to place a giant filling or a crown on the tooth. For people who like to open nuts, or people who are actually using their teeth for opening seafood like crab legs, they actually, it's not that common to create enamel defect. So for example, if you're eating sunflower seeds, or if you're eating different type of shell nuts, you're usually using the same tooth. It's like a bright spot to open it up. And then with time, you notice that that front central incisor will have an indentation, which gets bigger and bigger with age. And what is that? That's actually your tooth, which you're using as a tool all the time, and you just created permanent damage. You created a deep enamel defect. Not talking also about the craze lines. What craze lines are? They could sound crazy. Craze line is actually incomplete enamel fracture. It goes through enamel, does not go through dentin. So if you look under a microscope or with a lot of light, sometimes you see vertical or horizontal lines, usually vertical on the teeth. Those are craze lines. Very common. We see them with extra work on the teeth. So if you used to use your teeth to open water bottles or chew pencils, it's another one. That it's all can be actually damaging for your teeth and create those craze lines. What about chewing pencils? Chewing pencils kind of part of your nail biting and other problems, because it can be related to anxiety, and sometimes kids are actually very like to chew pencil. It can be very damaging for your gums. You can have gum recession. You also can have TMJ problem. And if you constantly, for example, using that one tooth, you can change the bite. You can change your occlusion, and surprisingly, there's actually a home remedy to fix occlusion if the tooth is tilted. We sometimes ask you to push it back if it's constantly tilted one way, but if you're using that tooth and constantly create one pressure, that's how teeth work. Orthodontics work by creating pressure, different forces by moving teeth. So if you're constantly using that one tooth and constantly create pressure, you're actually changing the bite. So you can actually, your beautiful aligned teeth after braces can be really significantly damaged, and the bite can change because you're using your teeth as a tool. So what to do? You have to be mindful of what you're doing, okay? Try to break that habit. Maybe have scissors in your pocket. Cut the tags off. Cut your Amazon packages with scissors, not with your teeth. Because if you break a tooth, it becomes an emergency. And what are you gonna do? Well, number one, make sure you rinse your mouth, because if you broke the tooth, you want to keep it clean. So then dial probably your dentist office if it's working hours, and take ibuprofen Tylenol for pain, because if you expose the nerve of that broken tooth, it actually becomes a big dental emergency. So you need to see a dentist as soon as possible. So those are all good tips on what not to do with your teeth, because they are serve completely different purpose in your life, not as a tool. So that's all for you. Share with me if you're using your teeth as a tool all the time, and how do you try to break that habit. If you are successful or not, comment below. And if you like my videos, please give us likes. Thank you for watching.